Few biblical stories are as striking as that of Miriam, prophetess, sister of Moses and Aaron. Narrated in the books of Exodus and Numbers, Miriam's life is a drama of unwavering faith and confrontation with the consequences of her own mistake. In today's video, we will talk about the complete story of Miriam and 5 reflections you can draw from it. Stay with me until the end. In Egypt, where the pyramids stand out and the Nile nourishes the land, culture flourished, but not everyone benefited. Israelites, enslaved, built grand monuments while dreaming of freedom. Miriam, also known as Mary, was born into a Hebrew family that, despite the oppression, maintained their faith. She came into the world in difficult times but carried with her the prophetic hope of a deliverer among the Israelites. From a young age, Miriam stood out for her faith and strength, actively participating in rituals and keeping her people's hope alive. When Pharaoh decreed the death of all newborn Hebrew males, Miriam showed her courage for the first time. Her family hid the baby Moses, refusing to surrender him to death. At a crucial moment, Miriam watched closely as the basket containing her brother floated on the Nile, trusting in an uncertain future. When Pharaoh's daughter found the basket, Miriam astutely suggested that a Hebrew woman nurse the baby, ensuring Moses grew up with his biological family. This encounter saved Moses' life and set the course for his leadership of Israel. Miriam's childhood was marked by oppression, but illuminated by acts of faith and courage. As Moses grew up, she became more than a sister, being his guardian and mentor, passing on the traditions and hopes of the people. Family, despite slavery, was rich in love and faith. Miriam's father, a man of principles, and her mother, a woman of unwavering hope, created a home where freedom was more than a dream. It was a promise worth fighting for. Over the years, Moses' mission became clear. His departure was painful for Miriam, who saw her brother leave to face his destiny. During Moses' absence, as he fled to Midian, Miriam took on an even more important role in the community, being the voice of hope and reminding the people of divine promises. When Moses returned, the news rekindled Miriam's hope. After years of waiting and praying, Moses' arrival brought the expectation of liberation and renewal for the Israelites. It's hard to imagine what Miriam felt seeing Moses return. Her heart must have been a whirlwind of joy and anxiety. Egypt had suffered 9 devastating plagues, each more terrible than the last. The Nile turned to blood, frogs, lice, flies, livestock death, boils, hail, locusts, and a terrifying darkness. Each plague was a blow to Pharaoh's arrogance and the Egyptian gods. After each plague, Moses went to Pharaoh asking for his people's freedom. Pharaoh always hardened his heart. On the night of Passover, the 10th plague passed over the houses of the Israelites, marked with the blood of a lamb. It was a moment of hope and salvation. In the early morning, Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and ordered the Israelites to leave. Command was clear: part. With centuries of dreams on their backs, they began to walk. Miriam was there, firm by Moses' side, encouraging those who faltered, and being a beacon of faith for the lost. The Red Sea seemed an impossible obstacle, but it became the stage for a miracle. The waters parted, and the Israelites crossed safely. Seeing the divine intervention, Miriam took her tambourine and led the women in a dance of celebration. Her song of victory echoed in the desert, a hymn of gratitude and joy. Miriam, with her tambourine and strong voice, stood out among the women. She was not just a leader. She was the soul of resistance and feminine strength, Sipai, inspiring future generations to remember the power of faith and joy. Years passed, and Miriam took on the role of spiritual leader and prophet. Her visions and words guided the people through the toughest times in the desert. Miriam's legacy, forged in the waters of the Red Sea and the sands of the desert, endured. She was not just Moses' sister, but a leader whose faith shaped the nation of Israel. Life in the desert was hard. Lack of water, the monotony of manna, and constant trials of faith and endurance. Miriam faced these challenges by offering comfort and seeking solutions, keeping hope alive in her community's heart. But the harsh life in the desert began to affect everyone, and tensions grew. In a moment of weakness, Miriam and Aaron questioned Moses' decisions, especially about his marriage to a Cushite woman. This questioning reflected the stress and fatigue of everyone. The divine response was swift and severe, and Miriam was punished with leprosy. From that moment, Miriam's life changed forever. Miriam, a figure of strength and faith, found herself in a very different position when she was stricken with leprosy. The disease, feared and little understood, isolated her from her people and her leadership role. The reaction was one of shock and fear. She who sang of freedom was now alone, distanced by the very community that revered her. Moses, even though he was the target of Miriam's criticisms, interceded for her with God. He asked for her healing, showing compassion and forgiveness, and understanding the value of unity. Miriam's healing marked a moment of renewal for everyone, showing the power of repentance and mercy. Miriam's reunion with her people was laden with emotion. Moses's and the community's acceptance and forgiveness sealed her redemption. Miriam resumed her role as a spiritual leader, more humble and compassionate, inspiring everyone with her experience. Life in the desert remained tough, but Miriam used her experiences to strengthen her people's faith. Her leadership was a source of comfort and guidance. When Miriam died in Kadesh, her life was celebrated. Her story and faith became an integral part of Israelite culture and spirituality, inspiring festivals and rituals that honor her legacy. Reflecting on Miriam's life inspires us to find our own song of liberation and to lead with compassion, living our lives reflecting our deepest beliefs and hopes. We can learn 5 lessons from this story. Courage in the face of adversity. From a young age, Miriam showed remarkable courage. When her brother Moses was born, she hid and cared for him, defying Pharaoh's decree that ordered the death of Hebrew babies. This initial courage paved the way for the heroic acts she would perform later, including her vital role during the Exodus from Egypt. Importance of female leadership. Miriam was not just a follower, but a leader in her own right. Her role during the crossing of the Red Sea, where she led the women in songs and dances of celebration, highlights the importance of women in leadership and in inspiring their community. She showed that female leadership is essential for the strength and cohesion of a people. Consequences of insurrection and the need for humility. The episode of Miriam murmuring against Moses, questioning his leadership, serves as a reminder of the consequences of insurrection and the importance of humility. Her punishment with leprosy and subsequent isolation show how disobedience and division can bring suffering. However, her healing and return to the community underline the possibility of redemption and the need to learn from our mistakes. Spiritual resilience. Miriam's life teaches us about spiritual resilience. Despite challenges and mistakes, she never lost her faith in God. Her ability to rise after adversity and continue to guide and inspire her people is a testament to her inner strength and spiritual dedication. Enduring influence. Even after her death, Miriam's influence continued to be felt. Her actions and leadership left a legacy that inspired future generations. Her story is a reminder that our actions have a lasting impact and that we can be sources of inspiration even after our departure. Miriam's story teaches us about resilience, the importance of community, and the power of forgiveness. Applying these lessons in modern life means fighting for justice, building relationships based on respect, and finding the strength to forgive. Miriam's legacy reminds us that each person has the potential to influence the world despite obstacles. If you liked this video and it helped you in any way, subscribe to the channel, share, and leave your like to help spread this message of faith around the world.